And so, anyhow, they said, God is on the cross now. And I said, yes, ma'am. He is on the cross. And yes, ma'am, Jesus is going to heal me. But he's going to do it in his own time. I can't do it. You can't do it. But he can. So anyhow, after that, church was over with. We came home. Of course, my dad was out there in the car, drunk. So Mama had to drive home. And we got home. I was still in my crutches now. I still was on my crutches now. But anyhow, Daddy decided he'd go off. Nobody knew where my daddy was. My mother didn't know where my daddy was. Well, my mother took me out to my grandmother's to stay because she had work. And she was with it now. And my grandfather says, baby, he called me baby then, he says, baby, in the morning, there's going to be a man on TV, and I want you to be in here. Watch that man. He didn't tell me his name at the time. He said, and I want you to watch TV with me, sweetie. So, okay, Papa, I'll watch TV with you. And he said, he's going to come on TV, and he's going to preach. And then when he preaches and gets through preaching, he says he's going to ask people that if they have any pains or hurt somewhere, put your hands on where you're hurt. And so, okay, Papa, I will. So Oral Roberts was on the preaching. And then Oral Roberts, he says, now, I have one more thing to do. He says, anybody that is at home or in the office or anything like that, I want you to put your hands wherever you hurt and pray with me. So my grandfather was right there. I was sitting by my grandfather, and then I put my hands like this, and my grandfather prayed. I prayed, or Robert prayed. My grandmother prayed. I'm not sure about my mother, but so we all got through praying, and Oral Roberts went off the TV, and then I was sitting by Mama on the couch, and I waited that my grandfather turned off the TV. That's the only time we watch TV. My grandfather turned off the TV, and he looked at me, and he says, how do you feel, honey? I didn't say nothing at the time. I felt good, Papa. And then about that time, I looked at Mother, and I said, Mother, I said, take my braces off, take my crutches away. And my mother took my crutches away, but she also told me, she said, honey, you can't walk without your crutches. I said, Mother, please take my crutches off. And I kept after that, and I kept after that. My mother took my braces off. And my grandfather was in a rocking chair. My grandmother was in another chair. And well, I waited for a little bit. I got up, and my legs was wobbly, but I got up and I stand up for a little bit. And my grandmother was in her house. She had a living room, a dining room, and a kitchen. Well, I wobbled a little bit out to the living room, and then I got from the living room to the kitchen.
With your crutches?
No.
No, without your crutches?
No.
Okay.
And so, and I was wobbling like a wobbly duck. Well, anyhow, I went back and forth for a little bit, and then I looked out the window, and I seen a rope out there in the yard. Now, y'all can believe this, or you don't believe it. This is the truth. Then I looked out the window and I opened the door and I went out there and I got that rope. And something just told me, you can jump the rope. And so I jumped the rope. Of course I fell down, but I jumped up. I got that rope again, and I jumped, and I roped, and I went back in the house, and I said, Mama, Papa, Granny, I jumped the rope. And so they said, you did? Let me see you jump the rope. But I don't think they believed me, but I did. I jumped the rope, and then I went back outside. My grandfather had a porch then, and I went back outside, and I said, jump off the porch. And I got up, and I said, went back to the house. I said, Granny. And she said, what is it, honey? I said, are we going to church tonight? And I said, well, if you feel like it and want to, honey, I'm going to go to church tonight, Granny. I want to. And so we went to church. I didn't have my crutches. I didn't have my walking canes. But we walked in the pasture. That's where we went. The moon was shining just so bright. I mean, it was bright.
Was this that Boy Screens thing again?
That was about the city.
Uh-huh.
And so everybody said, where's your crutches? Where's your walking cane? I said, Jesus healed me. They just not that. I said, don't y'all believe when you ask something and Jesus is going to answer your prayers? So I went in on up and Jesse Poe was right there. He was a preacher. And he was standing up there and talking to the audience. And he says, ladies and gentlemen, he says, we've got America tonight. He said, we have been praying, and this America has finally happened. And so he said, baby, he said, would you please come up here? And I said, yes, sir, I sure will. So I walked up there with Jesse Poe, and he was, and turned around, facing the audience, and he says, I said, Jesus healed me. Does anybody have anything else that they want done? Jesus can do it.
Aw.
I know he can do it.
And so how old were you when you were healed from polio?
Huh?
How old were you when you were healed from polio?
The best I can remember was probably 10 years old, 10 and a half, something like that. The best I can remember.
And how long did you have to go through the therapies and all that before?
To cut picking off.
You don't remember how long exactly?
No, no, about then ago.
That when you went to,
And I went to trip, and I went to
never
Tuscaloosa,
know.
Tanglewood, right across from where Charlie went for speech.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I went.
For therapy. Okay. Thank you for sharing your polio story.